What's up, folks? My name is Roque, and welcome to Dread Week. We'll be starting in just a little bit here. Until then, please enjoy the sound. The music, not the sound. Alright, be with you in a second. Alright. What's up, people? Alright, switching over. Let me go ahead and start this. This thing is so cool! Alright, hope you guys are doing well today. My name is Roque. Welcome back to another episode of Dread Week. And we're going to be talking about everything related to Dark and Light today. We got a lot of new information. So, I'm going to try to give you guys an update as quick as possible. Slick, smooth, and to the point. Starting off... You got good taste, Trevor. So starting off, if you guys don't already know, just going to give a short introduction on Dark and Light. The closest that I could find today of introduction for it is that Dark and Light is a multiplayer survival sandbox RPG. Can't really call it a massive multiplayer online game anymore. Can't do that. But anyway, that's the closest that I found for providing a description for it. Get my laptop in my lap. Alright, let's jump right into it, folks. So, first piece of information I wanted to go over is the file size. We know that Dark and Light is going to be 50 gigabytes in the current build. It's 50 gigabytes. That is huge. That's like Middle-earth Shadows of Mordor levels of size right there. It's pretty big so far. So right now we're expecting a pretty massive game here. I'm excited. I think it's going to be really good. Second piece is the map size. So last week, Horse Joke said, along with the Snail team, that it's no longer going to be 40,000 kilometers like the original. However, it's still going to be bigger than 1,000 kilometers. And you know, I was thinking about this earlier. You know, in DayZ, I used to play a lot of DayZ, like Arma 2 mod, DayZ, and the standalone. It took me a while just to traverse like 8 kilometers. That would take like an hour or two almost if you're walking. So, you know, 1,000 kilometers, if I'm thinking about that right, that's gonna be pretty huge actually. If I got that right. So yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty massive. I'm probably thinking about it the wrong way entirely. Daisy was probably a lot bigger than that, but um, yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty big though. Even though it's not going to be the 40,000 kilometers from what we've seen so far. I mean, you can kind of see a little map there in the bottom right or bottom left corner there. I think it's going to be pretty big. Still. Third thing I wanted to go over was the Dwarven Fortress. So, let me give a bigger look for this here. Hold on one sec. Let me select you. There we go. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself, so I'm gonna slow down a little bit. But so we just got this piece of information from Twitter not too long ago. This is a dwarven city. It is one of the 3 cities that we can start from currently that we know of. So oh, it's 225 kilometers. Ooh. Trevor said Chernarus is 225 kilometers. I'm really wondering how that's going to compare to Dark and Light's map, because I see that you have the number 2 there, right above the kilometers. But I don't know if Dark and Light has that next to the 1,000. I didn't have that in my notes, but we'll have to see on that one. Because if it's like a quarter of Dark and Light's map size, even being 1,000 kilometers, that's going to be pretty huge then. But yeah, this is one of the faction cities, and we know that it's now based off of the Dwarven faction. So that's kind of leading me to believe that there's going to be an Elven city and a human city as well. I'm going to show you an in-depth map at the end here, and I'll show you where it is on the map and which ones I think, or which one I think is the Elven one and which one I think is the human one as well. But yeah, we'll get into that later. And Horse also said that we should be getting some more information next week on that, on Tuesday to be exact. Well, it wasn't a guarantee. It was more like, hopefully, we'll be getting some more information next week kind of thing. But yeah, we should be getting some details dropped on Tuesday, hopefully. I'm hoping for, you know, a picture of an Elven city or, you know, human city, something like that would be super cool. Some more other information would be good too. Maybe the website some people were hoping for. I'm hoping for that as well. Could really use the website. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to go over was the experience system. So Horse Joke talked about this yesterday in a Q&A, or it might have been 2 days ago. I've lost track at this point, but I'm gonna go ahead and quote this for you. So Horse Joke said, "You gain general experience by doing anything in Dark and Light, which levels up your attributes, but now gathering, crafting, and generally doing anything related to a particular skill tree gets you experience in that tree. Example: gather food and craft basic curatives to gain water tree, cooking tree, and several other that's a hard word. Related trees, I'm just going to skip that word. Experiences, which unlock new abilities and crafting recipes as you go on." Oh yeah, some gameplay would be amazing. I forgot to say that. Thank you, Rabbit. There really is enough screenshots. I want to... At some point, I'm going to show you guys... you might have saw a little bit of it on the starting soon screen, but I want to show you guys how many screenshots I actually have of Dark and Light so far. There is a ton. There is a ton. Hey there, Sep. Welcome. But yeah, so this experience system is kind of reminding me of Albion Online. That's the first one I thought of when I looked at this. So the experience system is going to go like, you know, you're doing an activity like mining or wood cutting, and you're going to gain experience in that tree from the sound of it. Or you're cooking, going to gain experience in that tree. And, you know, you'll gain... For the new recipes, I think that's mainly relating to cooking and building and stuff like that. But from the sounds of it, it seems like you're also going to be able to get access to gathering different types of materials through that as well. Let me explain that in a second here. the next topic was gathering materials are going to go by tiers, along with resources, etc. That was also said by Horse Joke in the Q&A, and to quote here, it says, if you grind out wooden pickaxes, you'll get experience up to tier 1. By the way, this is all speculation. This is just assumption for right now on most of this. From Horse Joke's part 2, because we don't know if this will be in the final build or not. But anyway, it'll peter out in tier 2 and give nothing at tier 3. Currently, they have 5 to 6 different tiers of materials, from what Horse said in the Q&A. So crafting can also, and he also said crafting can be done anywhere in the world and at benches. So basically, from that quote, from those quotes, what I'm getting is so tier 1 crafting material, those are going to be wooden tools. So wooden pickaxe, you grind that out, you'll get up to you'll get experience up to the next tier. So we might see something like iron or steel, or something like that, something bigger than that. Oh, I'm not actually what's it called, showing advertisements or anything. I don't have it. I don't know what the word for it is. I'm not advertising, so I don't think that I'll get in trouble for having that on there. They can't really do anything to me. They're not even letting me show advertisements. I've been a bad boy. I'm gonna skip through that one, actually. I just really like that song. Okay, so yeah, the crafting tools and gathering tools, those are gonna go by tiers. So yeah, we might see something at tier 2. We might see something like iron, or lead or steel or something like that. And then at tier 3, we might see some other stuff as well, different kind of material. And since we have like 5 to 6 tiers of materials, we might see something as high as obsidian or diamond or anything like that. Well, maybe not diamond. That's a little too Minecraft, but you'll see a really strong material in the higher tiers for sure. Some kind of high material, maybe lava stone or something. I'm sure they'll come up with something. And I like that crafting can also be done anywhere in the world. Kind of makes it easier for crafting in the long run, so you don't have to run back and forth to banks and stuff like that, from banks to benches and everything like that. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about was the animal system. So Horse Joke also said yesterday, I asked about this in particular because I really like dragons, obviously, but he says that yeah, there we go, Mithril. Magically enhanced Mithril. Might see something like that. Yeah, there's another material. I didn't think of Mithril. But yeah, he said that we actually have some wyverns in the game for sure right now. But he's not so sure about the dragons yet. He said those are a little bit more rare, so we might not see any of those right off the bat. But I'm still dreaming. But what I really wanted to talk about with the animal system is the diplomacy system. I don't know if I talked about this last week, but you're going to actually be able to form relations with different types of monsters, like goblins and centaurs and cyclopses. It's a really cool system, and I got that from one of the Mrpuppy articles. I can also link that later if you want to take a look at it. But yeah, that just sounds so freaking cool. That if it's actually going to be in the final build, I think that is going to be a smash hit, because that means you could. I was thinking about it like, let's say the centaurs and the goblins are at war with something right off the bat. You could maybe kill some goblins and gain relations with the centaurs, maybe even ally with them, trade with them, because it does say in the article that the centaurs are like masters of war, so you would want to be on their good side. They might be able to provide some weapons for you. I don't know if it said anything about trading with them or anything like that, but I mean, it sounds like they give you something. So I have high hopes for that system. It sounds really cool. Also, orcs might actually be in the game. I asked if you can see this little lore picture right here where it says trolls and orcs swear allegiance to their new master. I asked Horse about the lore a while back, and I was going through the lore with them. I was linking those pictures in Discord because, by the way, thank you to Croy for providing those pictures in Discord, but there was a lot of like different pictures like that explained the lore a little bit. And as I was asking him about it, he said that I can't remember what exactly he said, but anyway, from his response, I was led to believe that there could be orcs in the game, which I'm hoping there are, because you can never really go wrong with orcs. Those guys are super cool. And let's see. The next thing I wanted to discuss was the faction system. So, yeah, with the current starting system and the current starting system, no, not starting system, starting cities that we have access to, there's 3. Let me go ahead and pull up my browser. Sorry, I forgot I was on that page. So, yeah, let me go to the character selection picture I had. So yeah, as you can see, there's only 3 starting cities right now that we have access to, well, from this picture, that we'll have access to. But it looks like it doesn't matter what faction you're a part of, you'll be able to spawn in each individual city, like no matter what faction you're playing. At least that's what it looks like from this. I asked Horse a little bit about this, but I didn't get a reply yet. But the way it's sounding, since we have that Dwarven Fortress picture, is that Zerahul is going to be made after dwarfs. Estel might be elven, since it kind of looks like it could be in a forest area even down here. And Vardo could be the human city. We know already that, I'm going to show you the map that they were working on last week. We know that there's Vardo kind of does look like it's the human city from that map. They were putting a bunch of screenshots together and showing, they were basically predicting where everything could be on the map. But Vardo totally makes sense for being the human city. So if Estel's the elven city, the way the faction system seems like it's going to be is, wait, what? You said, I think the marker above the city moves depending on what faction you have selected. You know what? It could. It totally could. But that wouldn't make sense though, because they said that the factions weren't based off of race. Yeah, they said, you remember they said that you could be a dwarf or an elf and still be in the red faction or yellow faction or black faction. So it leads me to believe that everybody's going to be able to spawn in the same cities, which kind of, I don't know, it doesn't sound right when I think about it that way, because we know that once you step out of the faction zone or city zone, everybody is pretty much open season. You can kill anybody and anybody, even people from your own faction. So I was also wondering if there'd be a way to tell people apart once you get out of the city. I still haven't gotten an answer on that yet. But if there's not a way to really tell people apart, then I couldn't really see the point of the faction system, since we're all going to be living in the same places from the sounds of this. I mean, let me just close this really quick and just take another look at the Dwarven city. So that's Zerahul right there. I'm going to bring this back up. So that's going to be in the northern region. So everybody in all the factions, from what I'm gathering so far, is going to be able to spawn there. So I was also wondering not just what happens when you step out of the city, but the lord system. So, when you get a certain level, you can become a lord. I don't know how that's going to work, if there's going to be like a voting system or any kind of political system or anything like that. But if we have, all 3 factions clawing for that position in cities, how is that going to affect the world? Or, it just doesn't sound like it's really going to, work out that way, because let's say you have a lord from the red faction and you want to work with the community to, let's say you want to go on a gathering run for the city. Because in one of the articles I read, the one that explains the lording system, actually, it's called Camps, Cities, and Fires or something like that. But it explains the shanty towns where you spawn and just the lording system and everything like that. It says that there's a type of fortification system in the cities. So what that means, and it says the lord and the citizens have to work together to fortify the cities. So I'm thinking there's going to be like some sort of building system in terms of the fortifications, where you could upgrade the walls and stuff like that. But let's say you have a lord from the red faction that wants to go on a gathering run to fortify the city. Well, probably the majority of or a good chunk of the players could be from the yellow and the black faction. So I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess it'd be okay, because you could attack the red faction too when you step outside the city. But I feel like people are going to be biased towards their own faction, so it might be hard to get people to work together in that sense, you know? Like maybe people will only be inclined to help with stuff like that when the lord of that city is a part of their faction. But I don't know. It could turn out completely different, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see for sure. But yeah, that was pretty much the only thing I was wondering about the faction system. But we'll have to wait till Tuesday to find out as well, because we should be getting some more information during that time. So if the second city turns out to be Elven, then yeah, it'll be a little weird to say the least. But I'm not complaining about it still, because I think it'd be cool to base it off of the race rather than the factions. Because I mean, everybody loves Dwarven fortresses and Elven cities too. Those are both really cool. And you still have the human cities to fall back on if you like that sort of thing. Alright, so the next thing was the server system. So, let me go to the article really quick that I was going to bring up. But, I know 2P sometimes doesn't have a lot of, accurate information when it comes to Dark and Light. From what people have been saying, I haven't really found that to be, true, but some people have said that, they're not entirely accurate sometimes. But, anyway, they were doing an interview with Snail. And this part was really interesting to me. They said Chinese players may have access to the same servers as players in the West. So maybe we can expect a global server. And it does kind of make sense because, well, currently, as far as I know, the Chinese version and the Western version are going to be coming out at the same time, since it's still in development over there too. That's what it's seeming like so far. So we could very well end up on the same server as these people, not people, but just people. But that would kind of be a little, I don't know how that would work too well, because I'm thinking about ping. I don't know really how they're gonna get around that. I'm also thinking about the communication, like the language barrier, of course, because we're gonna have under 1,000 players. That's confirmed for early access. So, if you're barely able to communicate with, people when you want to get stuff done, it might be even harder to play the game. We'll have to see what happens on that one. What's it called? And of course, right off the bat, they might pick a server. I remember in what game was it? There was a game I played a while back where the majority of the Russian players flocked to a particular server a particular server, and the Chinese ones went to another one, and there was an English popular English one. It could work out like that too in Dark and Light. Oh yeah, and Trevor did say that Horse is doing all the localization. Oh yeah, I remember him saying something about that this morning. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I hope it's gonna work out, because we might be seeing under player population numbers of 500 even, for all we know. But and I'll get into that a little bit here, because I wanted to talk about, even if the player population is low, I wanted to compare it to something, so I think it'd still be a success. But anyway, let's see. Oh, actually, I'm talking about that now. That's the next thing on my list. So yeah, if anything, oh yeah, don't expect the player population to be close to 1,000 players, by the way. It's really going to be on the lower end of that, and they were stressing that so much in the beginning because it's really not going to be that close to 1,000 players. Horse was just using that as as an example, so to say. But I was gonna say, as long as we get something close to 100 players, or well, not close to, over 100 players, I think it'd be fine, because I think it'd be similar to playing like Skyrim or another single player RPG with other people. Like if you take your favorite single player RPG, like let's say Fallout 4, and you add co-op into the mix, it could be a really, really good game after that. Really, really good game. So I think as long as they do that, they make it feel, if anything, like a single player RPG but multiplayer, I think it could still be a success. And from the features that we've received so far, like the information about the features, I think it very well could be. It could feel like that. So yeah, and also there was a rumor going around that Dark and Light was submitted to Steam recently, but that was actually confirmed to be a rumor by Snail on both Discord and social media, so just a rumor. So that, and pertaining to the release date, Horsejoke said on Discord that a November release is not likely. He said that a little while back. So more than likely, we're going to be waiting until December, sometime in December. Could be mid, could be late. That's what I'm thinking, like mid-late December, something like that. But it unfortunately could even end up taking all the way to January if things don't go right, or if things go bad. Because someone did say after Horsejoke made that comment that when you put something on Steam, or you start the process to put something on Steam. Well, I know there's two ways to do it, like they said. First one is Steam Greenlight, where everybody votes on it, and then after a certain period of time it gets greenlit to get on Steam. And then the second way they said was paying, a certain amount of fees to get it on there, which still takes a certain amount of time. And since it hasn't been submitted, since that information isn't true, then it's still going to take time for that, and we don't really know how long, so we could be waiting until next year for early access, but hopefully we get it in December. Yeah, there will be Dinosaurs. I think it's just kind of, a standard for sandboxes to shoot for now, because, everybody loves Dinosaurs. I mean, even before Ark, when survival sandboxes were coming out, like the Stomping Land, for instance, people were jumping on that, I know myself included. But just the idea of, trying to survive alongside dinosaurs was really exciting. And yeah, I think that's just what sandboxes are striving for now. Is, gotta have dinosaurs, pretty much. But yeah, they do look pretty good. I mean, you can't really go wrong with dinosaurs, I mean, can't really go wrong with those. But now, with Ark setting the benchmark way high up there, every sandbox that comes out after it, with dinosaurs could be considered an Ark clone in some cases. But, I mean, you're just going to have to expect that, really. I mean, it's just going to happen. It's kind of like how sometimes people compare, AAA MMORPGs coming out to WoW. They call it WoW clones. It just happens. So there's going to be people who compare it. Well, it's very comparable to Ark, but call it a straight up Ark clone. But we just gotta keep going forward. Oh yeah. So the next thing and semi-last thing I wanted to go over was the PvP system. So let me bring up this article again. Not only does it talk about Chinese players having access to the same servers as us, but for the PvP servers, I didn't actually see this until today, but I didn't know Snail's stance was, this on PvP, or might be this, but it says here, Horsejoke told us that if ganking becomes too much of an issue on PvP servers, even for the hardcore PvP players, however, they may need to look into additional restrictions/penalties. Which, God, at the sound of that just makes me say please no. Because if that is truly their stance on PvP, then it's safe to say we might expect some restrictions in the future. You probably should expect some restrictions in the future. Because whenever you give us freedom in a sandbox, of course we're going to make the most of it, and we're going to kind of bend the world to our will. And I mean, people get really creative. I was just going to talk about that topic and give a little warning. If you're watching this and you're a diehard PvP player, you love the PvP. I love PvP. I can't live without it. we might have to keep it a little cool for the first couple of months. I'm not saying, you know, just stop PvPing entirely, but clearly there's going to be some people complaining about it. Hopefully less so, because we have a PvE server. Literally all they need to do now is, if they don't like the PvP, they just go to the PvE server. They're safe. They won't get ganked or anything. Just let us let us enjoy it on our side. But of course, there's still going to be those people who complain about it. So for the first couple of months, I'm personally just going to take it slow. Probably just going to defend myself when it comes to PvP. If I see somebody out in the wild, I might try to kill him too. If the situation calls for it. I won't just jump on him though, but it'll take a pretty good reason. But like, I'm sure if we start spawn camping, like, it'd probably take something really, really bad to get them to restrict us. Like a full-on guild spawn camping an entire city for a day, and nobody being able to do something about it. That might get Snail's attention. You know, just going around and randomly ganking people, that probably wouldn't be enough. So that's just something to take in mind. Because I know if you love PvP, you don't want to see restrictions on PvP. We saw how that went in Black Desert, and that was fucking terrible. Even the mortal restrictions in PvP, where you could get flagged just from hitting someone accidentally, we don't want that shit. Because if we, especially since it's going to be open season on anybody when we step out of the starting zone, so we really don't need something like a flagging system getting in the way of that. It's not going to make any sense at all. So I really hope that you know, that doesn't end up being their stance, and they're just ready to put restrictions on us right off the bat, because that would really suck. What else? Yeah, so pretty much I think that's about it so far. Let's see. I went over the server system, the faction system. Yeah, PvP like an Ark. Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, I think we'll be fine about it. We might get some guilds like Baka or RPK. If you don't know who RPK is, well, some people were talking about in Discord earlier that if a guild becomes too much of a problem, the server will fight them. Well, a guild like RPK, they're organized killers basically, and you can't really fight them, because I'll give you a scenario. Let's say we're playing Mortal Online right now. Guilds have to have a guild stone placed down in a house. So if they piss somebody off, you could gather a force and go to that house and tear down the doors and steal that guild stone. You could destroy it. And then boom, if that guild doesn't put down another guild stone in a certain amount of time, their guild is disbanded. They're kaput. They're dead. And they have to gather everybody up again. They have to gather the money to get that guild stone again, and they have to build it all the way back up again, like level wise, slot wise, everything. But the problem with RPK was nobody ever knew where they lived. And that was because they were nomads. I mean, obviously they had to live somewhere, right? I think I know where they were living. But it was in a really good spot. It was so in Mortal you have the mainland on the right side, right? That's where RPK was usually at most of the time. That's where they did their fighting. On the left side you had Sarduka, which was the desert. And there's a jungle in Sarduka, because that's a new region compared to the mainland. That was added a couple years afterwards. There is a jungle in the desert, though, that is basically hell on earth. The hardest monsters in the game are over there. Well, some of the hardest. And they see you, they'll just kill you because the wind is blowing. They are hostile as fuck. They are deadly. They are just and that's where I found a house one day, and I found some RPK members standing near it and standing, you know, around it, in it, just everything. And I can't recall if I saw a guildstone in there or not, but that's where I think they were living, and it was totally smart because it was in bumfuck nowhere. It was in the, it was in the corner of the wilderness on the other continent entirely, which was super smart. Hey, Cray. And hey, Cray, welcome. And they did all their killing and everything on the mainland, so nobody ever knew where they lived. Nobody ever knew how to fight them because they didn't live there. So you could just as easily get something like that in Dark and Light. People that don't live anywhere, so you can't threaten them. If they don't live anywhere, how are you gonna find them? They just move. They just keep moving, and that's exactly what RPK did. They just move from place to place, kill everybody, and they were really organized though. They didn't just do that. They would siege people, and I mean, they brought the big guns out. They were the guys not to mess with. So, I mean, we're obviously going to get something like that in Dark and Light. It's just inevitable. We have guilds already forming, like in Discord or whatnot. I did not say, hey, Croy, like I was talking to a dog or cat. I just said it in a friendly manner. Like, hey, Croy. I'll do it a different way. What's up, Croy? What's up? What's up? Yeah, there's an idea, though. Just build underground. That's what I'm going to do. But, yeah, it's to be expected. We're going to get some organized killers in the game. So hopefully Snail is prepared for that, because it's going to happen. And, you know, we're going to get some people like Baka, if you know who they are from Black Desert. They're really fun. I love Baka, but they're trolls. They're total trolls. They'll just, if they can find a way to fuck with you, they will. They will totally fuck with you. Puppy. But yeah, so we're going to get trolls. We're going to get killers. It's just inevitable, so hopefully Snail is lenient on that and doesn't restrict us, because it's just gonna happen. But we're gonna be separated from the PvE server, so those guys won't have to worry about what goes on our side. Just please, I hope they leave it. I just hope they leave it like it is. And yeah, I mean, you can build in cave. There's gonna be so many different options for not involving yourself in what goes on the PvP side of Dark and Light. You could build underground. You know, you could. There's even floating cities. We don't know if you can build on them yet, but I mean, you could live on a floating city even. You could live underground. There might even be underwater caves. You know how you would swim underwater, and excuse me, you swim underwater and you kind of go you swim into a cave kind of thing. You could do that too, which would be really awesome. Man, I'd have a cave like that. If I had to go underwater and then get into the cave that way, that'd be great. Mrpuppy said, then your mana runs out and you're fucked. Yeah, but I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of different ways to avoid, you know, fighting people, and just, you know, if you're smart about it, I mean, you could probably go, probably go through a lot of time without getting ganked or dying. Just gotta be really smart about it. That's all. And plus, we could probably choose our starting positions, judging from. Let me go back to the picture. I mean, this does look like Ark. A lot of people have compared it to Ark, but you know, when you die, I would imagine that a spawn region menu pops up and you can spawn wherever you want. We were talking about this a little bit ago in Discord, actually, and there's shanty towns that you spawn in. So you could probably choose another shantytown if somebody's over there ganking people or something. So there's probably ways to avoid it. Oh yeah, but so we've pretty much gone over everything we needed to. Last thing I wanted to go over was the map that Interesting John and Scritty and a couple other wonderful folks have provided for us. They've been working on this map for I don't know how long, and Scritty says it's not even done yet. It's freaking crazy. Let me go ahead and show it to you real quick. We'll give it a quick look-see. So, this is the real-time map that I was talking about. As you can see, it is freaking huge. There's a lot of detail that's gone into this map. Basically, what they've done is they've marked some places on the map, and they've kind of pointed the screenshots. Oh crap! Hold on, I accidentally moved it. Control Z. Okay, there we go. So yeah, they pointed the screenshots to those particular points on the map to predict where those points are. So you can see the Dwarven Fortress is Zarahu. That's confirmed, by the way. That's known. So that's where the Dwarven Fortress is going to be. And the frozen tundra area. That's going to be, these screenshots are going to point to that, like this right here. And this is kind of where they think that'll be. So it's pretty much, yeah, it's speculation, but a lot of it I think is accurate. I mean, they put a lot of detail and thinking into this, so I mean, it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. And of course, they predicted that Vardo was the human city, so you can see some human city pictures right here going through. It makes sense that Vardo is the human city at this point, since we already know Zarahul is the Dwarven fortress. And that leads me to believe that Estel must be the Elven city. Got my fingers crossed. Got my fingers crossed. It's beautiful, puppy. It's beautiful. Oh, and Dat Rabbit said, it would be awesome if you could kidnap players with rope like in Reign of Kings. That would be awesome. I could see so many roleplay situations coming out of that. Hand over all your loot! But anyway. So yeah, once Tuesday, the information drops on Tuesday. If we get information on Tuesday, we might be able to put some more stuff on this map, hopefully. But hopefully we'll get some gameplay videos too, and maybe the website will drop. Some more stuff like that will happen, but we'll have to see. So yeah, so far we've gotten quite a bit of information about the game. Just to recap, the file size of the game's going to be, well, it's currently 50 gigabytes in the current build, which is huge. I mean, I feel like it's going to be massive. And the map size no longer going to be 40,000 kilometers like the original. However, it's still bigger than 1,000 kilometers from what Horse said. And yeah, so we're still getting some information, slowly but surely. Horse is trying to get all he can for us, and I could tell it's been really tough on him, because he said that sometimes it's just anyway. I don't want to say it right now, but anyway, yeah, it's probably been pretty tough on him. So I'm gonna stop asking as many questions as I can. I feel like at this point we pretty much asked everything that we need to know about the game, and at this point we just need to get the release, or we just need to get some gameplay videos or something. But we'll see what happens in the coming weeks, or the website. But anyway, I think that's all the topics we had to go over. Yeah, I think we got everything. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching thus far. Let me think if there's anything I missed I wanted to go over really quick. I love that music box thing. I think I got everything.
They've started to sing.
Yeah, so whatever we get on Tuesday, I'll add to next week's discussion. And I don't think next week's will be that long, because I pretty much think we got all the information we need. It might just be a short 3-minute video or something like that, who knows. But anyway, yeah, I think we're all done. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope that answered some questions if you had any. And yeah, once again, damn, that's loud. Once again, the shortest description I can have for Dark and Light is it's a multiplayer survival sandbox RPG, not an MMO. And of course, did you comment on the horse quote about hardcore PvPers? I think so. Well, wait? No, I didn't. No, because all I talked about was this 2P article, and that Snail's current stance on PvP might be, looking to restrict us PvP wise. Oh, no worries. What was the quote? Let me see if I can find it really quick. Oh, and Rabbit, it was from Pirates of the Caribbean. At World's End, to be exact. One of my favorites. Why'd I crush your heart, puppy? quote about the Tuesday information. He said, "I have no idea, but our magical social studies media pages should be able to tell you next Tuesday." Oh, I see. Okay, so Horse said that Horse made a quote that people that are not hardcore PvPers might have to settle on the PvE servers, like PvPers that are not hardcore. Yeah, I can totally see that, because I mean, it's gonna be a madhouse. It's gotten so bad to the point in, you know, sandboxes and gaming that we're just fucking savages. You give us access to PvP and we will just fucking kill everybody. Like, I am expecting the worst going in. And I love the worst, but I'm still expecting it. So I'm very glad that the people on the PvE server or PvE side of things won't have to deal with it. Because you play any sandbox, and that's probably the quickest thing to get somebody to leave when they don't want to deal with stuff like that. It's probably another reason some people don't even go for sandboxes. Because it's just so freaking savage now. Right, Trevor? But yeah, I don't blame them. So, yeah, if you're watching this and you don't want to get really hardcore into PvP, like, just have it happen to you like every 5 minutes most likely, then I wouldn't go to the PvP servers either. But I mean, that's something to expect. It might not turn out that way, and of course I said earlier there's different scenarios you could put yourself in. Like, you know, digging underground, just staying underground, be a hermit, or the flying cities, you might be able to build on those. You could just stick to those if you want to, you know, I'm sure there's some stuff. But thank you, Croy. Alright guys, I want to thank you guys for watching thus far. I hope you enjoyed. I'm loving this music box. I gotta use this thing again. Be sure to join us next week. Stay tuned for more information. On Tuesday we're getting an info drop, so be sure to check on Dark and Light's Twitter. And the Discord as well. Might get another Q&A that day for all we know. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching, and Roque out. I'm going to give it a second so it doesn't cut me off in the middle of a sentence. Croy said, surround yourself by hardcore PvPers and let them carry you. Hell yeah. You know what? If you're PvP or PvEer, I would invite you to the PvP servers. You know why? Because those people are like, I would value them above all, because I know they would not mind like grinding out materials and just grinding on mobs if we need to, and just everything like that. I would protect you. Straight up. Alright. Hey, you guys have a good day.